your purpose, build your vision, build the life they swore you couldn't change the future. I escaped from save the you I was before I would end. The classroom ain't in school, kid. It's in every choice from here. The classroom ain't in school, kid. It's in every choice from here.
Why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is.
Is there more soldiers on the other side of that EMA? Did they go pick up new soldiers? Because, you know, now that it's weak, to kind of give y'all a little background, right? I love trading. I've done trading for a long period of time, and oh, come on, 4:30. Come on. Let's go. Hey, what is going on, everybody? We are going to go ahead and get into this power hour. Got a couple of things that is looking a little scrumptious. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button. And also, I got quite a few things that's coming up. It's going to be so much fun. 2026 is going to be a different year from your boy JD. And if you don't want to miss out on that, you would want to follow me on Instagram, JD_the_Great. Very important that you lock me in. All right. That said, a couple things that I want to go ahead and look at. It is Tesla. This thing looks like it wants to do something crazy to the upside, and I am still eyeballing this. So during power hour, I may be referring back over to there, so that way we could go ahead and take a nice little stab at this. And I'm thinking playing some calls to the upside. That would be, let me go ahead again. June 30th, 2026 calls, 525. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a fiduciary. It's just what I see on the charts. That's all it is. I needed to hold that 445 level in the next 30 minutes. And if it does, right now it's at 447. So it's giving me a high probability that it's going to go ahead and do that. And when it does, I'm going to go ahead and look at a position. Again, not probably the smartest thing to do because we're going to have 2 days of theta that's going to eat up the contract. But in case this thing does gap up, I'm going to be already in it. That said, let's go ahead and keep this moving. We got an NQ. NQ is over here working on itself, trying to see what it wants to be. It's been playing to the upside and then it played to the downside. I did take a piece of it down to this downside, but not the one that I really wanted. The one this morning, I had a lot of leverage on and they just kind of like destroyed me going up. But listen, I'm a very transparent person. I don't win every trade. And if you ever hear somebody that only shows you only the wins, then they're going to go ahead and look like they're superhuman just that way they can sell you something. I am not here to sell you anything. If you want to, I do have things for sale, but do that on your own volition. Do not feel like you have to actually make a purchase so that way you can get the same results as me because I'm so amazing. Nah, it's not one of those things. I talk in probability. I talk in proverbs because trading is not a one-stop shop and all be all. If that was the case, the whole entire world would be rich, right? But there is some caveats that you have to develop in yourself, and my goal is to teach that in so many ways than one, especially with my most flagship out of all things that I do, which is my mindset class that is starting tomorrow. If you want information on my mindset class, you want to follow me on Instagram to do so. All right. All right, so as you can see, we got a very interesting action that's happening here. And I think part of it is the fact that we've been doing a lot of different movements on the US dollar. This is the dollar. This is a pure collapse. I don't know what's going on with the dollar. The dollar can't hold its weight for nothing. We have not hold that $100 mark in a long period of time. This is what it's been doing. This is November 2025. Y'all remember October was that little spike. If the market pushes down, usually it's because the dollar gains strength and we get value from that. So people cash out their equities and they hold on to cash. But you can see this right here that it is not doing any of those things at all. If we go back all the way to here, here is the Liberation Day, right? This was April into May, and ever since May the market rallied, hence the reason the dollar dropped, right? If we go even further back, here's the start in March when everything started to really pan out, and you could see the dynamics of how the US dollar actually is affected. This is March. Everybody thought the market was going to be relatively bullish at the start of March. It did not. What ended up happening, we had some teasers, and then I know where the dollar just built itself a whole entire position. It was April that gave us that strong little rally, and then they spiked it, and that was the news about the tariffs. And then out of nowhere, no more tariffs, and everything started to do all of this. Liberation Day. This is just beautiful price action to look at. So this $100 mark, I've been eyeballing for the longest. I thought we was going to finally get back up there, but you could kind of see they are not letting that happen. So since they're not letting that happen, I'm thinking that the market is going to rally, and I think they're being very muted with it. So yeah, I think there's going to be another spike to the downside for the dollar, which is going to make it the upside for NQ and other tickers. And I'm going to be running through some tickers throughout today to kind of show y'all what I'm probably going to be keeping my eye on, so that way you can make some sound decisions yourself. Let me come back over to the 45-minute. This was a play I took earlier that panned out. Got to my TPs. Get to the TP. Actually, I should play my music in the background. I should put some theme music on, but now I'm gonna save y'all the torture of that. Very interesting. Look at this right here. So we got ourselves a very interesting order block here. This is trying to be bullish, but it's forcing it. That's neutral. We already know that this area right here is relatively bearish. If we do break through this level, I'm going to go ahead and try to play until we get back to this level right here, which brings NQ to like 25,607. To translate, let's go over to QQQ and kind of put it in perspective. It'll probably bring us into this area like 617, 615, which is about a $5 drop. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm just saying if it breaks that block, because you can see that that block is kind of holding it up. That's probably what I'll be looking for. But now that we can't make a high lower low and we're making lower highs, look at how it's pushing right back up in itself. So we're going to have to see. Look at that. They are really, really trying to hold this up. So yeah, it might get back to being bullish. Maybe we could get a nice little pop on some very nutty, crazy place to the upside. We'll see if we can find a spot there. Actually, you know what? I kind of curious about this here. Well, how much time we got? We got 30 minutes. All right, we're going to be patient with it, because this right here could act as a block too, because unfortunately, when we made this move to the upside, they came back, and then this is kind of giving us that weakness, but this is holding us up. Are they strong enough to hold us up? Very possible. We got 15 minutes on that Tesla. Let me go ahead and give you another recap of that Tesla. Yeah, gonna hold that level. Entry will be right here. It's looking really good. I like it. I like it. All right, so let's run through some tickers and see what it is that we can work with. I'm gonna use my green list for this time. That way I can kind of keep the list a little tight today. Abbott Labs. All right, let's see what we got here. This thing gapped down. They had earnings. Oh, their revenue is dropping off. Okay, all right, let's see the rest of the chart. You can see I had a setup or a play to the upside, but it never held the entry, hence the reason where it is right now. And it looked like they came back and recap over here. Can they build the base and then try to push right back up? Maybe, but we're gonna have to just be a little patient on that. 2 days of holding this level, maybe get a nice little reversal candle, something green, but a nice little entry somewhere close to that 107 would be cool. Probably they did that because of dividends. Dividends sell off, dividends sell off. Maybe, very maybe. Let me get rid of this because this is now useless. Intel, this thing has been dropping like a lead weight, and I think the reason why this dropped off is because they needed to kind of retrace this so that way they can let their friends get on. But I wanted it to hold at $50, so I'm gonna keep an eye on that. XOM, actually I am still looking at my Oxy. I still have that one rolling. Let's see, is this thing holding up? Still looking okay. Got in closer to here versus here. But yeah, I want to see this Oxy get up into about $46, maybe even $50. We'll see what happens. But in the case of ZOM, on the other hand, this one's a stronger company because they're more direct to consumer, so they get different margins. And plus, they also have some green stuff that they're working on, which is alternative fuels and everything else. So when you see oil, for example, start to act a little bit silly, in this case, it has been kind of like consolidated down here. And part of the reason of the consolidation of oil is because it's Saudi Arabian oil, and you already know how the beef is going back and forth. So I think that's why they're suppressing the price. If they lowered production, this thing probably could go ahead and push up, but lowering production is probably not the most sensible thing. So gonna be very interesting to see how oil responds. But ZOM moves more because they generate well amount of revenue, return money to shareholders, what you asked for. $85 billion company. The guidance is going to be 80 and 1.7, while this one was 1.8. So I think a lot of this is priced in. So look for this thing to either smash earnings because of the whole Venezuela thing, or you might see a little bit of a drop on something like XOM and the rest of the oil ones. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at that. AAP, Advanced Auto Parts. This one was a little shallow of a move, but you can see this was something I was looking at. It did not give us an entry, gave us a secondary entry, retested, and that got to the TP2, and then we got to like TP4. You know what I'm saying? Like very, very strong move to the upside. Probably going to go for this gap at $50, so just keep that in mind. GameStop, I don't like to play this thing because this thing kind of gets a little crazy, but we can go ahead and talk about it for a second. And you can see we are trying to fight to get above here. This $20 level is going to be very crucial for them to hold their position. This thing gets under $20. We're talking about lead weight in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean into the Mariana Trench. We're talking about the Mariana Trench is $10 GameStop. That would be crazy to see that again after everything that it's ever done. If y'all don't remember what GameStop is, this is the company that everybody during the pandemic was basically buying them back up, like buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, right? And over here, where are you? Pandemic. Over here, it went completely bananas, right? This was that move. It got up to like 120. While we had this whole entire move right here during was this housing bubble, and then this was the 2013, I think this was taxes, 2015 taxes. The business just declined completely because people are buying their video games where? Online. And then out of nowhere, everybody's like, GameStop to the moon. And no one knew what the hell was going on. If you don't know who they are, you've been living under a rock. So we're going to have to deal with that. Can you play that somewhere else, please? Thank you. All right, so I'm thinking it's holding at $22. It is doing it. I don't like the fact that it kept on playing back and forth when it came down to here, and it toyed with that $20. But this is now 1, 2, 3 times that they attempted to go ahead and hold this $22 level. So we're going to see. We're going to see. Let's see what the next ticker we have. All right, so this is Starbucks. I had posted something about Starbucks, and this is why it's very important that you wait for entry. Let's go ahead and look at this. This was based on a 30-minute chart. Let me get that right. Let's start 30 minutes. Oxy, Starbucks. Where are you, Starbucks? Starbucks, yeah, 30-minute chart. So if we look at this 30-minute chart, they are trying their best to hold it under there. So nice little push to the upside. This 30-minute candle, I was actually on the road at the time, held this level. So if you did get in here, I can understand your sentiments probably feel a little uncomfortable because this thing can go ahead and you hit your stop loss here because this was our close and then they kind of swept it right back up. So we're going to see, can it give us another close below here? If not, this would be the official end of the trade, and this was a better entry than for those that kind of got caught in here. So I'm looking for lower highs here. I want this to kind of like pivot from here, but we'll see. We'll see. We gotta be patient when it's all said and done. All right. CFI. Nope. Nah, that's a little boring. That's a little boring. Cores. I've been keeping an eye on this for nostalgic reasons. Somebody referred it to me, so I kind of kept an eye on it. NVO. Capital One Finance. This thing just dropped like a lead weight, and it's all because they missed their earned EPS by a little bit. I think this is overkill as far as a drop. Let's go ahead and come over to a daily. I think they're just reacting to the market more so than actually really failing their position. Waiting for dividends to pay out. Then I probably play this to the upside, kind of like dividends drop and then we kind of push. Dividends drop, kind of push. Dividend, not really a drop, kind of based it and then kind of push. So that's probably something I'm going to be looking at. Let's keep that in mind, Copayne. This is with China. Oh, this thing got to my TP too and then bounced right off of it. This one I kind of kept an eye on, but I did not want to play because I don't like China. A lot of times I play Chinese trades and I always get my face ripped off. I think I based this on a weekly too, yeah. And it's not even a lot of price movement. About $3, $2, $3. A lot of risk in itself. All right, so of course Oxy, we just talked about that one. Looking for that one to continue. I think I'm in a good position on that one. Got 7 minutes until we go deal with that Tesla. So let me just keep running through this. NVT. This one I'm just keeping an eye on. It looks like it's going to break out something vicious. So I've just been watching this thing. I played it to the downside for the most part. Didn't really go as far without that chop. So I kind of was a little annoyed. But it did finally get to TP2. Right now it's above here. And I'm going to see if we can get up into 124. Going to have to buy some time on that. 5 below. This one does a lot better. Just like Dollar Tree and all of them. Because people want discounts on stuff, right? So this thing's kind of looking like a bull flag. Maybe this is a sign that we're going to go into a recession. Never know. We'll see. CELC. No. Norfolk. With the whole talk about potential wars and everything else, this is going to be something that you want to keep your eye on. That is Norfolk Southern. This is Rails. Lockheed Martin. Going to need to watch out for that one too. Oh, this thing took off. Look at that one. Oof. Northrop Grumman. Northrop. Okay. Oh, there it goes. NOC. This one's already pushing up. So between that, I think it's CSX. This is also on the rails. Look for this. Because when they have to move equipment, guess what they're moving the equipment with? They're moving it with the rails. That's what I'm kind of piggybacking off of that. So when we go over with NSC, this is going to be part of that railroad. So look for this to help move a lot of military equipment. And it's probably going to go ahead and move those tickers when they start to get some of those government contracts. Just keep that in mind. Etsy, not the same since the pandemic for obvious reasons. You already know. We were all the way up there, and now we're all the way down there, right? So look for this one to try to see if it can form this base that it's trying to do. It's kind of failing it. Yeah, kind of failing it, but I just want to give it a try. UI path, another cheapie. This is like a $14 stock. This thing has been getting beat up quite a bit. Got a nice little rejection from here. Came into this area. They can't hold this level. I want to see it do something around $12 that tells me it's going to be a base. If not, we're probably going to go ahead and retest something down here. And that could tell us a lot. Oh, actually, you know what? I want to speed up. Let's go over to MSTR. I was watching a documentary. And they were breaking down a lot of the stuff that's going on with MSTR. This is probably going to be very critical. You might want to take out a pen and a pad for this one because this is insane. So if you don't know who MSTR, they are technically an indirect Bitcoin play. If you really think about it, they have a lot of Bitcoin in their books. So the game plan between them, they were going to use whatever capital, like when you buy shares from MSTR, they're going to use the money that you give them to buy more Bitcoin, and they're going to have it on their books so that way you have some exposure without having the direct exposure to Bitcoin. But now that there's a whole bunch of ETFs that's out there, like the Grayscale Trust, and I think Invesco's in it, BlackRock's in it, everybody's in it, everybody got some crypto. This is starting to lose its luster, I would say, right? So let's take this into a granular standpoint. Let's look at the monthly here. I'm gonna get rid of all my drawings and kind of start over with y'all while we're here. Look at this area right here. MSTR has been playing around this area for a while. So if there's anything, this is a very neutral order block based on the monthly, right? So now what can happen here? And I just did this class with everybody as far as doing order blocks and everything else. And there's a couple things I want you to pay attention to. This is a fair value gap, right? This is a fair value gap. And this is a fair value gap, right? So we got three very, let me just highlight all three and do it one shot. Why is it not doing it? Come on, behave. Okay. All right, so you want to be difficult. All right, let's go ahead, template and bearish, right? Wrong one, bearish fair value gap, right? So this is all bearish fair value gaps, right? So what is this telling us? This is telling us that there was a lot of impact to play this to the downside. If MSTR, for somehow, some way, because they did a split here. That's the reason why they're all the way up here, right? If this one right here ends up giving up the $100 level, which is roughly at the bottom of this block, right? There's only this fair value gap on the monthly, which is a bullish one, that's holding it up. Not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. And think of it this way. It's not the fact that Bitcoin is the problem. It's more of their management of the funds on allocating, on grabbing the Bitcoin is the problem. They don't generate any other revenue that I know of. So it's going to be all predicated on the performance of Bitcoin. Now let's go look at Bitcoin on a monthly. What has Bitcoin been doing? Been pulling it back. Whatever they do, let's just say they start to get some shareholders that buys in here, and this thing doesn't take off, it's going to put pressure on them to sell, so that way they can be able to hold this from falling below here. Now, you're going to say, why sell, right? And that's a very, very good question. But they're probably going to need to sell so that way they can take the cash and invest it into another vehicle, aka diversify. Because as far as the Bitcoin portion of it, it is putting a lot of weight on them, because shareholders are like, why am I coming to you when I could go buy my Bitcoin myself through Coinbase and all this stuff, and I can get the exposure. It's all legitimate. They got the KYCs, the whole nine. So this is literally giving them, I know they're losing sleep at this point. And you can see, look at this month so far. We got 7 days left, and they've been putting nothing but selling pressure, just like it was in December. So this fair value gap hasn't been tested. This order block is now officially tested. I would love to see MSTR get above 170. If it does, whatever they say on their earnings is going to tell us a lot. Okay, that's interesting. So their earnings here is 8,000%. How did that happen? Are they always? Maybe it's the appreciation of the Bitcoin that they're reporting in here. But this one's $8. This was $32. Oh, okay. So they probably guided lower, but this impact is not as much as here. This one was negative. So this is the first time that they really started turning some green here. They're anticipating 118 in revenue, and they got a drop off in revenue here. Oh yeah, this is going to be fun to watch. Keep MSTR on your radar. Keep the level of 170 here, and we're about to go up to earnings on February 5th. Let's see what they report. If this reports more than $8 per share, you might get a rally that takes out some of these fair value gaps. Just watch the chart. You heard it here first. All right, let's go ahead and keep on pushing. So I told you Tesla is going to be something I might be considering. It did close above the level I was talking about, which was 445. Incidentally, it did not close above the 448. So I'm going to try to see at 359 if this thing is going to hold above here. Then I'll consider getting that position. Meanwhile, it looks like I should not. I'm going to just leave it where it is. Understand. I'm going to say this again. There's going to be 2 days. This Friday. So Saturday, Sunday of theta is going to eat up your contract. Do not buy this today. If it holds above 448 and you cannot handle the fact that it might gap down. Okay? Or if you're going to get it today, make sure it's money that you don't care about that you can lose. Because there will be 2 days until their earnings reports. Right? And when the 2 days of their earnings report comes into play, there's two things that can happen. They spend 2 days pulling it back to make it gap up, or it starts to push up, which is what I'm leaning to, and then we drop or we gap down. Only two things that can happen. You either lose or you win. So just in case any one of us are wrong on entering at the wrong time, take money that you don't mind losing. The contract I'm looking for is roughly about $50 because it is the 525 contracts that expires next week. Okay? Do not do nothing reckless. Do not YOLO. I am not a financial advisor. I am not a fiduciary. Okay? I'm just a person that clicks on charts and I like what I see, so I'm just sharing with y'all. I love it above 445 and I think they're going to test this gap. So we get to 477. I'm anticipating somewhere between 25 to 50% appreciation on the 525 contracts just on that move alone. And if I'm super right, this thing can go to my TP2 at 522 and that can go crazy. All right? Don't say that JD said this, that, and the third. I know what I said. It's recorded. It's on YouTube. Anyways, let's go ahead and keep on going. We got a couple more tickers I want to kind of go through. So we did MSTR, TTD. Actually, one more, I should say. TTD. If you don't know who they are, they're in the package software space, kind of like your Adobe's in a way. And this thing has dropped off of a cliff. Ever since the pandemic, it was one of those darlings. Everybody kind of ran into them and everything else. But the problem is you have to keep on returning money to shareholders. And when you don't, people start to panic and they're like, all right, we're just going to have to let you fall where it may. Because before they're split, they were doing this, right? And that's 319, 226. Like you're returning money to shareholders, but your revenue was growing. Why is your revenue growing and your EPS is relatively similar? That doesn't make any sense. I think there's some profit taking that happened here. I think we are at fair market value for the most part here. So what should we do with something like a TTD? All right, let's look at the price action back here. You can see we had a nice little base here. Let's go ahead and box this area out. We'll call this a very bullish order block just for the giggles. Not saying that this is the best way of looking at an order block, but I like what I'm seeing over here. Got a nice little extension off of here. We have yet to really test over there. If we come back, that's probably what they're looking for to get down to. Current price action. They're hitting the brakes here. There's nothing here that says it should stop here. But for giggles, let's just say they were looking for here. Right now, this is a very neutral area. Go ahead and make it neutral. We're trying to hold this up so we can create this as a very bullish order block. Can they do it? If this thing ends up being under the price of $34.30, there's a chance that they're going to go ahead and try to chase to $18, $19, maybe even $20. Depending on that reason, if they catch it somewhere around here, because whatever is previous resistance turns into support, very possible. All right. So now, what's above? We got a couple of things. We got a fair value gap just put in not too long ago in the middle of October. Got a bearish fair value gap. That's going to be an eyeball. If this thing creates a base, where's the first place people are going to take their profits? Roughly around here. Also, got a fair value gap that's here, but they already partially filled it, right? Hit the 50% mark at the fair value gap, and then it pushed right back down. Are they tired? Are are the people that played here are traders and they took their money off the table. Their earnings are coming up on February 18th, and last earnings they did solid, right? But can this be that fair value that they're going to get? And then out of nowhere, $50 calls, got a nice little gap here too. $50 calls on TTD that goes out to like end of the year. Could this be a recovery? Sweep out the fair value gap, continue to the upside? Very possible. But that's, you have to plan accordingly. So this one I'm really keeping my eye on. I want to see this thing get off the ground. And this week is showing some signs. We got 24 minutes and I think we're going to finish very green. Get a nice little continuation candle, recapture this wick, take out that fair value gap. Probably could get like $42 calls in the next couple of weeks, especially if this earnings smashes. All right, let's see if we can find ourselves some trades. Let's go over to NQ. Gave y'all tickers that you can keep your eyes on. Let's check this out. Oof. This thing's still doing the dance over here. Come back to 45 minutes. So the funny thing about it, when I first started a power hour, let's come back over here. Look at that. They pushed this thing up and it continued. And they said, no mas. Very interesting. And we got a tiny fair value gap left on this 15-minute about right here. They didn't get all of it left. And it was all the way to here at one point. So they took out the 50% of it. Very interesting. Might have to play some shorts and play it down into maybe the opening range breakout, the top of it. We're at the 700 mark, but this has been a very tough area. I don't think I want to try to get in yet, but let's see what option contracts we could play around with QQQ. That is very interesting. I've been opening up QQQ on Robinhood so many times that my iPhone is suggesting, like automatically, do you want to see QQQ? Either that or they got a microphone on Siri and it's listening to me. One way or another, somehow they already got this thing open. All right, so we here. What we got? If I'm thinking about puts, I would love to do the 620 puts, but it's probably a little too far because you're talking about a dollar movement and we're in 30 minutes. But that's money we could light on fire and not care. Next one is 621 for like 16 bucks. Again, this is a very bullish order block. If y'all don't know what, I built this block off of the 45-minute, right? And we had a bit of a move. Where did I put it at? Oh, there it is. Right? We had a bit of a move after this doji, right? This doji was trying to put pressure for us to go down to this level, and they were like, no mas, we're going back up. And then they was like, no, we want to go down. And then they was like, nah, we're not going to let you. And then they got past it. So now that we got the break, this is the retest. So the theory is, if this is the retest, then we should be going up to the upside. But yeah, we're not really doing that. There's a lot of selling pressure here. So if there's a lot of selling pressure here, so where's the next spot? So we kind of have a cross candle doji. If you haven't been on my order block class, that's what that is. And that's bearish because current price action is below it. And we've attempted 1, 2, 3 times for us to hold that area, and it's failing. So we're fighting between two different order blocks. And the best spot would have been here if I was very convicted to play this here. I almost would be convicted to play it to the upside, and then they hold this base in the next 10 minutes, and then we just go ahead and sweep the sell side liquidity because they panic. Especially with the position I have with the whole entire Tesla. I think Tesla is going to push to the upside. Let me look at the calls. Let's see what we got on the call side. We got 623. That's like 12 bucks. We got 624. That is $4. Money we can light on fire and not care. That's the goal. And let me take a step back. This is a mindset theory of mine. I think a lot of traders get a little bit more apprehensive on certain trades because they do not, they don't know how to let go, right? And it's what the trade does. At this point, my stop loss would be something like here, and my stop loss would be here. If I was taking puts, it'll be here, and if I was taking calls, it'll be here. Look at that push up. I was considering that contract has boosted up from $12 to 23. That was about 100% move, right? So my theory behind this is, since we're between two different order blocks, I want to play it with two different order blocks. I guess I shouldn't jumped into it right when I said that. Look at that push, mother sucker. You gotta let go. You gotta. If you can't let go, then that means you might have the wrong leverage on your trades. You just not, you're not doing the right thing. You either went ahead and just YOLO'd your whole entire account, which again, there's nothing wrong with YOLOing the account. It's just know that you're YOLOing with money that you know you're not paying the rent with. And I think a lot of people get caught up in that. So when you're like, oh, I want a perfect trade, there's no such thing. And the game plan is finding more probable trades. We already know this is a tough area because this is an order block. It got close to it. I saw that we're closer to here. My stop loss would be here. That'll be great. And now that we're kind of like above the middle pivot of everything, if we get inside of here and it starts showing me some weakness, I'm going to start looking at the puts. And I'm like, all right, let's take these puts to the downside. That's what I'm trying to get across. So whenever I come on here and I'm like, hey, we're going to light some money on fire, it's really a practice of letting go. You cannot control the trade. As soon as you enter in it, it's either you're right, and if you're right, congratulations, here's some profit. It's either that or you're wrong, and guess what? Cut your losses. And if it's something where it's completely invaluable anymore, aka this type of action here, this would then train you on, all right, I gotta be able to buy more time so I can sell the time back. So if you want to take it on the safer side, get next week's contract close to the money for this action, because that's what we're going to be doing right now. But right now, there's nothing for us to trade yet until this thing finally decides what it wants to do as I'm looking for a spot. That was a perfectly good one too. Look at this nice little base that was built here. Coming off the fact that this was a Morningstar. The Morningstar didn't really pan out the way people would probably want it to. Let me see what this measurement is. Yeah, that's what we're getting. They got their measurement. Lots of selling here. Lots. Look at that. That's a 5-minute chart. Let me go to a 15-minute. Yeah, a 15-minute chart don't look any better. You got a hammer, and then we got this nice little extension, and it hit the brakes where? At the block. Same block. Trying to determine what we're going to take. Yeah, I would say because the way the theta is moving and the delta is not like pumping, I wouldn't even bother with the 621 on the put side or the 624 on the call side. I know it's going to be a little bit more than you're comfortable as far as burning your money, which is 20 cents. That's all right. Get one contract. The goal is to exercise that inclination of not letting your trades play out. That's the goal. Okay. We got like 5 minutes left until volatility kicks in, and then Robinhood's not going to let me make this play. So I might have to give that up on the Robinhood side. Let's go Thinkorswim. I might find a spot here. Oh, look at you. You're still complex product. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let me know about complex products. Charles Schwab. Okay. So that contract that I was talking about has now gone back to 22 cents after pulling back to like 15. Still kind of in the middle, so I think we probably missed the boat. Strong possibility. Looks like they're gonna sweep this here because I don't see any more pressure. This is the last bit of pressure that's there. They recaptured this wick and closed above this, so it's making me think that this is now a bullish order block. If it retests it, I'll put bearish. I mean, fair value gap. It's a block. If it retested before volatility, I may take a stab at it, or maybe one contract. If it does not, I may sit back, relax, and live to fight another day. Sitting on your hands is not a problem either. I know y'all came for some power hour action, but we've been very consolidated. Like, you got to be able to play in ranges. For example, like when power hour started, it was 3 o'clock, so this is it. So this whole move came down to here just for it to pull back to here, right? And then we just been back and forth, and it's getting tighter. So technically our center pivot is right about here. And if you wanted to be risky, but your stop loss would be probably this structure, it would have been something like an entry here. I don't like it. I don't like to diddle in the middle, and I don't like to accept it for any type of trades, because let's just say they reverse it right here. Could be a problem. All right, I got 4 minutes left. That Tesla still looks good, but it still has not given me an entry. Let's go back to Tesla real quick. I want to see it close above 448, and it's fighting to do that. Yeah, like fist fight. Yeah. Let's see. Let's check out SPY. Maybe SPY got better price movement. No, that looks just like the Qs. Let's look at the dollar real quick. Look like the dollar's trying to find a way to bounce, but it's a little too late. You should have bounced over here. Really think this dollar's going to drop even further. Just keep that in mind. Weaker dollar means more rally from the market. Just does not look good for them. This day is closing under a structure. That's not a good sign for the US dollar. So if you're sitting on cash, well, let me give you some personification of what this is happening, or a picture, I should say, not personification. Let me give you a educated guess of what's happening here. If you're sitting on cash right now and you have nothing in any investment, I got a few, but very light because I want to deploy my thing in something very particular. You're losing value as the dollar drops, and then slap on inflation on top of that, then it compounds. So right now you got to put in some sound investment. That's why everybody's been running over to gold, and this thing's been going completely crazy. Well, that's not you. That's Chibi. I want gold. Give me gold. And they, oh my God, it stopped 9 points away. Everybody's waiting for gold to get to 5,000. Like that's the game. And if you don't want to do gold directly through there, you can do something like Barrick Gold, GDX. That's another good one as well. GOLD is another one. I think this is iShares. Where are you? Or is it GLD? It might be GLD. I like GDX. So let me see. GLD. No, I can't remember what it's called. I know it's something else, but GDX is one of them. Let me just go right there. Oh, not you. Oh, ETFs, they separated. That's why I'm driving myself crazy. All right, so GDX. Okay, so GLD. There we go. I knew it was GLD. I know I wasn't going crazy. All right, here's another one in itself. All right, let's get back over to NQ. We got like 30 seconds until the volatility kicks in. Let's see what happens here. All right, 20 seconds. I guess that was the play. As soon as I kind of looked at the price for the upside off that 700 level, I didn't want to short it there. I should have keyed off on that. Nice little 5-minute fair value gap put in here. Let's see if they sweep the liquidity. Oof, that is not a sweep of liquidity. Ooh, I thought we were gonna get a pop out of all of that. All right, so we got a retest here. Maybe they came back to reload and then gonna go ahead and pop it back up. See if we can find a spot. Lighting money on fire. I think I'm still on the bull side. I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a push up. $14 is the contract right now. Oh man, I should have jumped into it. Then that thing ran away. Ah, that's funny. Mother sucker. Aw, you jerks. I was right. That was $8 just on that movement by itself. And I won't be surprised that this thing pushed right past it. Alright, so they rebalanced that area. What a suckers. Oh, and then they liquidated. And that's why getting off the block is more important. Like that move was better than trying to get it right here. Not confident in it anymore. I wanted the first bounce. Anytime I play a trade, I want the first touch. I don't want somebody else's used goods. I want the fresh touch, not that one. And you can see this happening right now in real time. That this action coming back, that first bounce was perfect. And then they look like they took off their profits. I won't be surprised we pull back into here. All right. I would say there's not much to trade. Tesla's not holding my level, so I'm not going to take that risk. I would have been very risky if it closed above here. I trust this level out of all things. But now that it kind of pushed down, unless it recovers like in the next 5 minutes or so, I'm going to wait till Monday. And then I'm going to see if Monday closes above it. And if it does, then I'll go after my target, which is I'm aiming for 522. That's what I'm aiming for. All right. Let me see if there's anything in the chats. Yeah, I know I do have a live chat. So if there's any questions, you can always chime in. I'm going to try to do this each and every Friday. A morning session for Power Hour. An afternoon recap to kind of like look at what's going on. I'm looking at different projects so that way I can make it a little bit more seamless to make trading a little bit easier for y'all. Building out a newsletter, building out a whole entire algorithm. Well, I already got the algorithm, but something that spits it out a little bit more cleaner for you. Give y'all a little preference. This is what I posted over my Discord. Something that kind of shows you your strike price and everything else with the chart. Kind of breaking things down with an overlay that kind of shares what I'm looking at and everything else. If you don't see this information, it's on the free game. If you're not in my Discord, the link is inside of the description. Go ahead and check it out. I'm always doing free classes. One-on-ones are available. Just down there in the link as well. That's what kind of supports this channel. So if you like the information that comes out of this channel, greatly appreciate you by supporting that way. Of course, like and subscribe is the free version of that too, because if that algorithm hits, then I can reach out to more people, and then those people make their purchases and so on and so on. But yeah, Tesla is trying still. Look at this, still trying. Get up there. Got 5 minutes. If it could do that, that would be great. Oh, appreciate you. Thank you. I do it for the people. I get some text messages from the boys. What's going on? How y'all doing? Appreciate y'all. It's all good. All right. Come on, Tesla. Oh, you know what? While I see that EOSC, you know, let me go over there since we talked about that thing pulling back because that profit got hit. But I still see it going to $20 though. I want to see that bad boy get to $20. If it retests to $15 again, I think I might join you on the fight. I might. As much as y'all know, I do not like. Is it positive yet? Nope, still not positive EPS. Yeah, that thing comes back to $15. I might take a stab at it. I just might. All right, let's get back over to NQ. What's going on over there? Yeah. This is called being stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, this is a chart version of that. Fundamentals. No. I'm still sticking with the fundamentals. Oh no. Let's not go there now. Them fundamentals are still on point. But I might join the fight because the chart just looks okay. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say it look good. But the chart looks okay. So I might take a stab at it. Oh. Okay, Tesla. Wait a minute. What you look at that. They try to recover it already. Let's go. And hold that level. I'm gonna wait for 359. I want to wait for 359. That's my game. Cause y'all ain't gonna catch me. No. I'm good correction. I saw 40. I was like, wait. Let's not be too overzealous now. You almost messed me up with that one. Oh man. Ooh, but I did have DraftKings. Keep an eye on DraftKings. I've been on this for about a week now. DKNG. This thing, I've been shorting this bad boy. It's at my TP1. I'm considering taking my 48%, my basketball, and going home. Actually, I might lean that way. But I do think that it could get all the way to $25. Keep that in mind. I know it's a short squeeze. Trust me, I know what the game is. I peep. I peep that's a short squeeze. But the problem that I have with it is that when the short squeeze is over, there's someone that's going to have to hold that whole entire bag of excrement. And I don't want to be the one to do that. I do have my eye on NVO. NVO is right here on my list. Yes, absolutely. Nova Nordis, absolutely. That thing's going to move. And that's why I want that $15 price. Because I don't want to get caught in the rapture. All right, we got 2 minutes left. What you feel? You feel like that Tesla? You feeling that Tesla? Well, the shares I would never get rid of, but the runners, yeah, I might consider that as soon as that squeeze feel like it's squeezed out, I might have to come off of that. You agree? Okay. All right. I feel you. Let me go ahead and let's see, minute and 45 seconds. I don't want to give it 45 seconds because I don't want it to just turn around. I get into this position. Actually, I think I'm gonna use my capital from my DraftKings. Let me go ahead and do that. Right, I'm gonna use my capital from DraftKings to pay for my Tesla. I know my DraftKings had some time, but I like where it was, 45%. I'm gonna go ahead and take a nice little gamble over in Tesla, because Tesla prints when it moves. So that way, it's not my money that's trading; it's DraftKings that's paying it. All right, so I'm going with the next week. That's the January 30th. 525 calls. $40. Let's go. And that's how the game goes. All right, I want to say thank you again. I know this was a little bit of fun, so I appreciate each and every one of y'all for chiming in with me. By all means, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button. If you want to join the Discord, down below, that's the link. And I will see y'all next week. Like I said, every Friday is the game. Oh, you waiting for 450? Hey, don't be trying to sell after I got in now. It's all good. Nah, do your thing. I don't know what your option contract is at now, so it's all good. All right, y'all. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.
tell you you ain't broken, you're untrained. Your mind is a weapon, they never sharpen. Your pain is potential, they never explain. Build your purpose, build your vision, build the life they swore you couldn't. Change the future.